Hello, hello. I am here with Justin Evergarden of Evergarden Creations. How you doing today?
Good, man. How about yourself?
Good, good. A little bit rainy outside, but can't complain too much. I'm inside talking with you, and I'm super excited for what we've got today because if you haven't checked out Justin's Instagram, you're going to be in for a treat on this in this interview because some of the creations you have made are nothing short of mind-blowing.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
So, so let's just kind of dive into this. So, and again, for those that don't know, if you want to check out Justin's Instagram, you modify vehicles, your
Mhm.
everyday driver to look like something that came out of a video game or a movie. There's some examples we'll get into as this rolls on, but how did this all start? Did you come from an automotive background? Where did this inspiration come from to tackle projects like these?
So I definitely don't come from an automotive background, not at all.
All
In fact,
right.
sometimes when I first started out, changing oil had to be like a team job. So that was definitely something. But it's life has a funny way of teaching you things. And so there for a while, my wife and I decided to try the van life thing.
Mhm.
And so we moved into a 1985 Volkswagen van, which was later turned into our Fallout Vault Tech van.
Okay.
And man, you become a mechanic real quick when your house is also a vehicle. I don't drive a fast moving vehicle. I drive a slow moving house. So when it
Love
breaks
it.
down halfway up a mountain, you gotta learn how to work on it. So
Mhm.
that was how I got the mechanic background, was just through trial and error. But no, it's I used to make props from TV and film, like replicas for myself. But thanks to some, let's call them learning opportunities, some unfortunate events that happened in my life, I had to start getting some of those creations like officially licensed, like legally. And
Yeah.
the quickest way I knew was to get titles for them.
Sure.
So it's hard to get things stolen when they have a title.
Sure.
Anyway, so yeah, so that's really where the idea of the full scale vehicles came from. And it was born. So one minute I was making, handheld weapons and props and things,
Mhm.
and the next I was slowly turning vehicles into rolling movie scenes.
Awesome. So was that when you were making props, was that like were you working on cosplay stuff? I know I've seen some photos of you doing some cosplay side by side with the
hmm
vehicles. So did that kind of come before the vehicle mods?
Yeah, the cosplay definitely came before. In fact, I originally, when I was younger, I wasn't allowed to go to prom. And so
Okay.
instead of going to prom, I decided, well, I'm going to do my first comic book convention. And
Sure.
so I went out and I built a TARDIS from Doctor Who, because back in the day, you used to have like themes. So like
Mhm.
if the theme was like rock and roll, you'd have like a bunch of like rock type Pokemon show
Mhm.
up and like all this other things, and it was like the end of the world.
Oh,
And so I
okay.
was like, so who else to save the con than the doctors? So I built this TARDIS in my backyard, and I contacted the con and was like, hey, we'd love to bring that by. And they were like, yeah, we'll get you a hotel and everything for it. And I was
Awesome.
I didn't know that was a thing. Okay, yeah, let's go. And and so one thing led to another, and it kept rolling that way. But yeah.
So you kind of you were a guest before you even knew what that was. You were a guest at a con
hmm
before you even knew what that was. So
By the literal definition, yeah. I was asked to guest there. I didn't have anything. We had the TARDIS. I didn't have any signage. I didn't have my name on anything. But by the end of the show, we had about 16 other conventions begging us to
oh
come.
wow.
And so I started figuring out how to make it a little lucrative by making some things, like starting an Etsy shop and selling some of my props. But yeah.
Awesome. So, kind of diving back into the vehicle side of things. So,
hmm
obviously, you started cosplaying, Doctor Who kind of being the introduction there. So,
hmm
then down the road, you evolve into doing vehicle mods and vehicle
Yes.
creations. Was there a certain vehicle from a show, a movie, a game that you were like, man, that would be cool to be able to actually physically drive?
Honestly, pretty much all of them. Every time I watch a movie or play a game, I catch myself thinking, okay, like how do I build that, right? But if I had to pick one, I think I'd have to say the one that really captured my heart was Lupin the Third's little yellow Fiat 500.
Great choice.
Man, it's such a charming little vehicle, and when I first got it, I didn't realize how small that little clown car is. It's you stand up next to it, not I'm not relatively tall. I think I'm
Sure.
average height at 5'11", and the car's roof comes about a little above my belly button.
And you're like, how am I going to
And
sit in
but
this thing?
yeah, but it's so small, it's so full of personality, and man, it was just ridiculously fun to be able to dress as Lupin the Third and be that spy, anti-hero
Mhm.
thief. And so yeah, we put a lot of love into that one. Um,
So how long did that take for you to do that first mod? Was it like a years
Oof.
long process? How long was that?
So I kind of do my builds kind of quick.
Okay.
The way that we cycle through is I will do a build typically, and we'll have it for a year or two,
Hmm.
and then we'll sell it to someone that like really loves the show.
Gotcha.
We don't sell it for too terribly much of a markup, mainly
Mhm.
for my time that's involved, and then we'll take whatever funds we've received from the previous vehicle to build the next one out in about 2 to 3 months.
Oh wow. Okay, so you're a pretty quick turnaround.
Yeah, it definitely takes up my whole day.
Fair enough. So, what were some of your favorite movies, games, TV shows that, and obviously
Oof.
again, I'm sure Doctor Who was one of them, but
Oh, yeah.
looking back on it now, what are some of those movies, TV shows, games that influenced you to where you are now?
Well, okay, so TVs, games, and movies. So I've always had a soft spot for anything Studio Ghibli.
Fair.
The films are just pure magic. Castle in the Sky for
Hmm.
sure with the original audio is one. I still have it on DVD because it's the only one that you can get that audio track from.
I didn't know
Um,
that.
Yeah, it's got an audio track from Disney where they took out a lot of the background noises.
Oh, okay.
So one of the main scenes that was my favorite was they're sitting there and you have the pirates at the beginning of the movie
Mhm.
squaring off against the miner, and they're stretching their muscles and they're ripping his shirt open, and there's background noise that you hear. In the Disney movie, they cut it all out, but in the original one, you hear the two pirate brothers yelling like, "All right, everybody, watch the buttons, a one and a two and a there we go," and it tears open. He punches them and they scream, "He said mom was ugly. Now go get him." And so it added a lot of flavor to it. But let's see, when it comes to game, obviously I'm a huge fan of the Fallout series.
Yes.
Always wanted to work with Bethesda at any way, shape, or form. I've met a lot of people from ZeniMax that have just given us thumbs up on everything,
Mhm.
but nothing official as of yet. So that obviously explains a lot of our builds.
Yeah, if you scroll through the Instagram, that explains a lot of the
Yeah,
builds you've
yeah,
done.
the Nuka stuff, and let's see. I love the Zero Escape series.
Mhm.
The graphic novel type games on the DS were really good. They've got incredible storytelling, lots of good puzzle solving. But if we're talking anime, I'm gonna just say like TV shows, anime in general. I really love Laid Back Camp,
Okay.
or Yudu Camp in Japanese. It's one of my all-time favorites. It's cozy, it's peaceful. I mean, it's basically camping, friendship, and noodles.
Mhm.
So it's like therapy with better scenery.
Fair. This is a total side note, but I've hung out with these guys a few times. Have you ever heard of the band Spirit Bomb?
No, I may have heard of them in passing, but I've never heard them.
Yeah, so if you got a moment, tonight or this week, whenever, check them out on Spotify. If they ever roll into your area or a con you're at, they
Mhm.
do live anime covers with
Oh,
the OMV in the background. Um,
all right,
so
all right.
it's a big party. So yeah, it's a good time. But total side note. But so as far
Yeah.
as the cosplay and everything alongside with your builds. Is there
Mhm.
a dream cosplay, dream build all the time, all the resources, everything in the world? What's the one that you would want to create?
Yeah, so I've been talking about this one for a long time, but I just haven't had the funds and I haven't been able to find the base vehicles. But I really want to build the Gadget Mobile from the live action Gadget Inspector Gadget movie with
Oh,
Matthew
okay.
Broderick. Yeah, it's just, Dan, it's wild, it's over the top, it's full of
Hmm.
gadgets and nonsense. I remember specifically that it had a drink machine in it that served
Yes.
Surge from the 90s. At one point it crashes and it gets filled up with Skittles.
Hmm.
So it's absolutely, in my opinion, the perfect car. So if you ever see me driving that down the highway, just know that I'm finally living like my best cartoon life. But yeah, the cosplay itself, teaming it up with the vehicle, I spent over 6 years looking to build Inspector Gadget's outfit from that set.
Oh,
And
wow.
I actually came across an eBay listing, and so now I have the hat from the original hat makers of the film, using the same. They actually still had the scribbles from
Really?
the set. So yeah, so I have an exact, I would say replica, but it's from the same people
Hmm.
that had it on the set. So I have his hat, and the eBay listing I hit was actually for a jacket that was given to some of the film crew. I'm not sure how many was made, but it had a note in the pocket from the director thanking the Riverton Police Force crew for Inspector Gadget. And when you open up this Tommy Hilfiger jacket, there's a large Gadget logo on the side.
Really?
So yeah, so now when I do cosplay Gadget, I mean, everything's authentic from the film.
That so you've got the cosplay part down. Now you just got to find the car.
Mhm. Yes, yes.
What would and it, this is something I didn't even necessarily think about, but you mentioned finding the
Hmm.
right base car. How much
Hmm.
research goes into that to find, you've got a car you or a vehicle you want to make, but you got to have the right bones, the right frame,
Yes.
I would guess.
Yeah.
So how much research goes into that?
It goes in quite a lot. You're definitely watching the movie several times. You're taking
Hmm.
stills from every single angle. When we do cars, we try to make sure that we keep not only the make, model, and year correct,
Hmm.
but especially cars like the Gadget Mobile or like Loop on the Thirds.
Hmm.
The live action take more research than the cartoons, because like when we
Sure.
did the Mystery Machine from Scooby-Doo, the
Hmm.
Mystery Machine, the back of that thing changes based on the episode you're watching,
Hmm.
right? It's a cartoon, so it's not perfect. So you get a little leeway there.
Hmm.
And it's a cartoon van. Now, when you go to Gadget Mobile, it's a Lincoln Continental. It has to be that specific year with the suicide doors.
Hmm.
But I mean, like we even plan out like what fabric did they use?
Oh,
What
wow.
was the stitching pattern that was put on that air? Who has the like we found the guy already who has the molds for the original Dash from the Gadget set, and he
Oh,
still has the
wow.
molds. So yeah, it's a lot of research. It takes a lot of time to be able to hunt down all these things, and then no one's going to do it for you. So you have to learn a lot of these skills to put it all together.
No, yeah, that's a good point. No one's going to do the research for you. You got to pop the
Hmm.
DVD in or pull it up on Netflix or wherever it's at streaming
Yes.
these days, and just scene. I'm imagining you're just going like scene by scene, almost frame by frame, and being like, "What is
Hmm.
this? What is that?"
Hmm.
You've got a lot of patience.
Thank you.
I give you credit. That's something I could not do. But part of the reason why we're talking today is you're coming down to Peoria, November 22nd and
Yes.
23rd, Peoria, Illinois. You're going to be a
Hmm.
guest at Illinois Comic-Con in Peoria at the Peoria Civic Center.
Hmm.
What's the con got lined up for you? What vehicles are you bringing? What are you looking forward to that weekend?
Okay, so this weekend, or not this weekend, but when we
Hmm.
get down to Peoria, we're bringing our Nuka Cola and collaboration manga Jeep. So it's a Jeep Grand Cherokee that has been painted up as a Nuka Cola vending Jeep.
Oh, wow.
But
Okay.
we've added the dark manga lines all to it to
Hmm.
make it look, not quite Borderlands. It's not cell shaded,
Hmm.
but it's got that kind of manga aesthetic to it, which we thought was a nice little, wasteland kind of thing to do. And it's actually going to be towing our Nuka World on Tour display. So
Okay.
if you're a Fallout fan, you'll recognize it right away. We've taken an old pop-up camper
Hmm.
and gutted it and turned it actually into a full booth.
Oh,
So you
wow.
can meet with me there. We'll do our autograph signings there, and then we'll have lots and lots of merchandise from the Fallout series for sale there, custom-made props and weapons. And we highly encourage barter. So we will be accepting bottle caps for barter and trade.
Really? Oh wow. So you're taking
Yes.
that next level into that in-game universe of trading with caps and
hmm
that's
Yeah, we've been doing it for probably, oh man, I want to say like 10 years now. Ever
mm,
since we first started doing the Fallout thing. It's a big staple of ours. We don't want to just show off the vehicle and like show like craftsmanship or work.
sure.
Our whole thing is to create a big interactive experience where if even just for a few seconds you can feel like you're in that universe. That's the whole purpose.
That's awesome. I cannot wait to see that in person. And just out of curiosity, you talked about, you do one car, you kind of sell it, use the funds to go on to the next one. What being such a Fallout fan, was that kind of one where you were like, I got to keep this and take it show to show, like to Illinois Comic Con?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. We our original plan was to bring the Vault-Tec van because we still
Okay.
have that van, but we currently have the engine out.
Oh,
We
okay.
had I was doing a repair and I broke a bolt off in the engine block, and so I've
Uh,
got it out with a welder right now, trying to get those backed out. But
mhm.
she'll be back on the road eventually. But we still have the Nuka Jeep, and don't worry, it is 100% radiation free,
Good to
probably.
know. So you said that was a Grand Cherokee you modified. So how
Yeah,
did how did the research process go for that for a Fallout vehicle? Because it is a video game, and kind of like you
it
were
is.
saying with the animation, it can change frame to frame, it can change game to game. It's not perfect. So were you able to take a little bit more creative liberty on that since it wasn't from like a TV
So
show?
So I kind of get to in this sense because the Fallout cars that you see in the game, they
Mhm.
don't exist in real life, right? So we
Right.
have to get to like a really close equivalent.
Hmm.
If you're going with a lot of the cars that are like they're all decrepit, they're all destroyed, they're
Right.
all broken. But
Survived
when we watch
Fallout, like
Correct. Yeah. So, which is why we don't have drivable cars in game. But when you go back and you rewatch the series,
hmm
you see a lot of like the pre-war vehicles, and they're very circa like 40s and 50s
hmm
Corvettes and Camaros and things with like the fins and like those just aren't readily available. They would
Sure.
be incredibly expensive. But then when you take like for instance the Vault-Tec van, it's a
hmm
snub nose van, but instead of it being like a Volkswagen, which is, the snub nose, it's got this weird extra sci-fi kind of bubble on it. And as much as I would like to make it, and custom fabricate it, getting
hmm
custom bubble glass like that and is way above like my pay grade, because all this just comes out of my pocket.
Right.
We don't have any sponsors or anything like that. So the Nuka-Cola Jeep was something that I'm not going to say you're going to see it in game. It's more of a tribute right now because
hmm
the Vault-Tec van is down.
Right. Okay.
And so would you believe me if I told you that I did it completely all in one day on on the Nuka-Cola Jeep?
Wait, so the Jeep that you're bringing down to Illinois Comic Con, you did in a full day?
I did in one day. Yeah, we woke up at like 5 in the morning, and I don't think we went to bed until close that time, like the following morning.
So it was about a
But we taped it
24
off. We
hour.
a 24-hour rush build, get it all done, because the engine had to come out, and I'm not gonna not show up for our fans.
Wow.
So yeah, we found a Jeep Grand Cherokee, we got it, we painted it up, and yeah, went to town.
So you do all the
And we've
paintings.
got a big Nuka-Cola bottle on the top of it, so it kind of looks like a cross between something someone would drive just naturally if they were like a
Right.
huge Nuka-Cola fan, and maybe kind of think like I don't know, what is the truck, Pizza Planet, the Pizza Planet
Oh
truck
yeah,
from like
from
Toy
Toy
Story. Yeah, so it's
Story.
yeah, so it's kind of got that kind of feel to it with the big Nuka bottle on top.
That is, I can't believe you did that in 24 hours. That's going to make seeing it in
Mhm.
person even more mind-blowing. And so you're going to be towing the trailer with it. Now, how long did the
Mhm.
trailer take you to, and I'm sure that's part of like a staple of a road show for you guys is taking that
Mhm.
show to show to show, but how long did that take you to modify and make it so that you can sit in it and do autographs and have that interaction?
Yeah, yeah. So that one took a little bit more, mainly because I prize authenticity like really,
Yeah.
really high, right? And just being a guy who's married. I got 3 months old right now. I
Oh
don't have
wow.
like, funds just running out. So,
Right.
what we do is as per Circa Fallout, if I can make it out of trash, I'm going to make it out of trash. In fact, if you come by my booth and you see props with rust, we even use an iron oxidizing paint.
Oh
So
wow.
it's actual real rust on the props, which elevates that kind of level. It's not like cinnamon mixed with some
Mhm.
kind of glue. It's the real thing because I want to try to break down the barrier between pretend and like, forgetting that you're pretending and you feel like you're there. But yeah, so we found this trailer on Marketplace for I think it was like $400,
Okay.
and it still had all the camping equipment in it. It had a couple holes in the floor, and so we had to gut the entire thing,
Mhm.
and then like the bedding and the cloth and some of the wood. We took the time. I guess it took about 3 or 4 months, but I slowly took all the product that was in there, and I
Mhm.
used all the spare material to cut it and glue it and like
Wow.
figure out how everything's gonna work. So it's literally made all out of itself.
Oh wow.
Um, but there's like the roof doesn't have the original paneling for it
Mhm.
anymore, so it looks like old decrepit wood. Like you can see the glue
Oh
where the glue
wow.
was up there holding the roof on, which was really cool. At one point I guess they used it to like transport tile and paint, so
Oh.
there's actually like red paint that's like smeared out the door, and we left it because it looks like you shot someone for their
Yeah.
booth and then like dragged the body out.
It fits the Fallout universe. Like,
Yeah, yeah. So it was it gave us a nice little like backstory, Oh yeah, we found this over at Nuka World. Had to kill a couple of raiders for it. But
yeah, to fight for it. Like,
yeah.
that's awesome. And like you were saying, it's all of those little details that when somebody comes up to you
Mm.
at a convention, for a second they kind of forget that they're in a convention center, an exhibit hall.
Yes.
Like they are
Yes.
in the Fallout. They're in the
Yes.
Badlands of Fallout. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah, and we have the radio going. When I'm not dressed up every day.
mhm,
Obviously, on the days that I've got like my Q&As and stuff, I'll
sure,
wear pretty much this, or I'll do my magic show or whatever they have me doing at the con that time.
sure.
But when I am, it's typically me and my buddy, and we're in vault suits, and we're just kind of like the vault bro mechanics, or like we're working on Nuka-Cola jumpsuits, so we'd be
Mhm.
Nuka-Cola delivery guys.
Oh,
So
nice.
you can walk up and talk to us, and we'll insult you, for not being. Hey, is this really Nuka-Cola you're selling? Look, I know you Wastelanders can't read, but that says Nuka-Cola.
Cool. That's like it's almost like going to Disney World within an
Hmm.
exhibit hall. Like you are totally immersed. You're not in
Yeah.
an exhibit hall anymore. You are in the Badlands of Fallout.
Yes, yeah, and we even take it to the point of, like we have our favorite factions obviously in
Sure.
game. So if you cosplay Caesar's Legion from Fallout New Vegas,
Hmm.
we won't sell you anything. We won't do it. You have to change out of your cosplay. And so like if you sit there and say like Hail Caesar, it's like, okay, well, we'll just charge you doubles.
Oh my God, that
I
is
haven't made
awesome.
anybody. Yet they've eaten it up. They've loved it. So we're staying committed to that bit, but.
Well, that's so cool because, like, you go to a convention and you see people cosplay,
Mhm.
and sometimes they've got, depending on what they're cosplaying, they've got like a voice modifier to make them sound more
Hmm.
like the character, or they're acting more like the character. Like, that's what
Yeah,
you guys
all
are.
the time.
You're doing the exact same thing. You're treating them as if they were actually that character. And,
Absolutely.
and as someone who goes to a lot of conventions, I think that just like it keeps you within that fourth wall almost of like
Hmm.
I'm not in some convention center. I'm here. Like we're
Yeah.
negotiating and this guy's actually kind of mad at me. He's going to charge me double. Like,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Now we don't take it to the extreme,
oh, of course.
obviously,
Right. Yeah.
but yeah, yeah, we like to have fun as much as possible. We've even got sales pitches where, when they come up, we have all the chems. So we've got everything
Oh,
from Stimpaks
nice.
to Radex. And then I always like to pick up the little bottle of, since the show came out, of
Hmm.
bottle of Plan D, and I'll
Sure.
always be like, man, I've even got Plan D, in case tomorrow you decide you just want to give up. You
Hmm.
know?
Oh my God, that's awesome. And I know we're like a month away from this particular from
Mhm.
Illinois Comic Con, but do you have kind of an idea of what you're doing outside of having the setup on the show floor there? You doing Q&A panels? You doing anything in addition to that?
So I think of right now they're giving me a Q and A. I think
Nice.
it's kind of a filler panel. I think it's just kind of whatever I want to wind up doing with it. As of
Nice.
right now, I haven't gotten specifics. If so, we might make it kind of a combination of all my panels. I like to do Q&As. I like to do kind of armor building workshop. I say workshop
Sure.
loosely because we're not physically doing it.
Right.
I have one trying to get people to kind of think outside of the cosplay, kind of
Hmm.
outside of the box. Looking at things from a different point of view. And then of course we've got the magic show. So it'll probably be a combination of all those things.
Nice. That sounds awesome though. Just kind of a little bit of everything that makes
Hmm.
you that's what you do.
Hmm.
So, do you have any shows lined up? I know we're towards the end of October now. Do you have any shows lined up
Hmm.
between now and then?
No, no, not currently. I've got the little one on the way. We're prioritizing fixing the Vault Tech van so we can get that
Sure,
back
yeah.
out on the road for people. And then I've also, I've got other endeavors outside of the convention center. So like I run Japan Gospel Project,
Oh,
and so
okay.
we do missionary trips out to Japan regularly, and we're looking towards actually moving out there permanently
Really?
here within a couple of years. So.
That's awesome. You gonna be able to tow the trailer over to Japan or?
No, no.
Yeah, no, I figured not.
Yeah, no. We'll kind of have to do more remote work.
Yeah.
So it'll be more like your stereotypical guest at that point. It'll be
Hmm.
less like less of the vehicle builds and more of
Hmm.
like, they fly me out. I may bring like the T60 power armor or something like
Sure.
that. And so we'll still show up with it on display or like go around and entertain people. It just won't be as large because we'll have to fit it like on a plane or ship it.
Yeah, yeah, fit it in a checked baggage.
Yeah, but we're not quite to that point yet,
Yeah, yeah,
so we're still
right.
in the planning phases. But so we're as of right now, we're not going anywhere.
Awesome. Well, it's got to be crazy for you to think, like you said at the beginning of this, someone who did not come from an automotive background to
Hmm.
now you're painting, you're doing engine work, you're doing upholstery work. You must have just learned
Hmm.
so much from where you started to where you are now.
Yes, yeah.
So, do you have another project lined up right now or?
There's always something in the works.
Sure.
I don't want to give too much away.
Okay, fair.
The next build might involve some classic anime
Okay.
inspiration. So if I can say that, something that hopefully will make old school fans kind of excited. Um, but yeah, we'll just say the workshop's been a little loud recently.
Oh boy. Okay, so there's
So,
some wheels moving.
mhm,
That's awesome. Well, where can people, obviously you're going to be in Peoria coming up here in about a
mhm,
month, but if,
yes.
people can't make it to the show or they want to check out some of your work before they come up and interact and see the setup that you have, where can people find you and find your work?
Yeah, absolutely. Just go on Facebook and find Evergarden Creations. It
Hmm.
may be Evergarden Creation singular.
Okay.
I'm not sure. It kind of flip-flops between platforms. Of course, we have the Instagram, which you contacted me on. You can find us there and on YouTube. There's Evergarden Creations at YouTube. I haven't posted any videos of my recent builds in a long time. They'll be watching there is kind of our escapades living in the van, doing the whole
Okay.
like half van life, half cosplay for a living. And so,
Hmm.
but it's a fun trip, and I think it's a pretty fun watch.
That's awesome. And even before we started recording, you it kind of mentioned you've seen most of the United States through
Hmm.
so that's I mean that's awesome. I think that's a bucket list item for a lot of people to be exploring that much of the US. So I'm sure you've got some fun stories, some fun memories from the travels.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I like sharing those if anybody
Mm,
asks, during the panels and stuff. What are some funny moments that happen? What are some
yeah.
scary moments? What can you share about, the biggest thing for me was just living life to the fullest. I like to
Oh
burn the
yeah.
candle at both ends, or just set the whole thing on fire. Because because it's life's too short,
Mhm,
and I did a whole lot of living in that year and a half that we lived in the van. Most people work 9 to 5 jobs and you get
mhm.
paid what? I think it's like 2 weeks of paid vacation per year. I had a
Usually.
year and a half where all I did was travel. I did it very cheap. And
Mhm,
so I've got more life living experience in the van, experience as I would have never had. Some more than like people that are, 60, 70 years old because they
sure.
they didn't go out. They typically those 2 weeks off are spent like catching up on housework or something,
Mhm.
so.
or use it all for like the end of the year holidays, or it's you
Yes.
kind of burn it all at once. So no, that's
Yes.
awesome. So I know you'll probably be doing a panel there, so hopefully you get to share some of those cool stories.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, for anybody listening to this interview, if you come to my panel, feel free to ask me anything.
Yeah, no, I could tell
Yeah,
from the few minutes we've been on here, you're an open book. You got a lot of cool
absolutely.
adventures. So, well, thank you so much for taking the time. If you're going to be in the Peoria, Illinois area in the end of November, stop by Illinois Comic Con, see Justin's amazing setup. Bring
Bring
your
your bottle caps.
yes,
Yeah,
bring your bottle caps. You got some bartering to
that's my
do.
line.
So, well, thank you again for taking the time. I cannot wait. I'll be down there in person, so I cannot wait to see the setup, and I'll be sure to grab
Of
a
course.
couple quick clips and share them with anyone that's seen this interview and maybe couldn't make it down.
Awesome. Hey,
So,
thanks again.
yes, absolutely. We're going to keep all of your socials linked below, and we will
Awesome.
see you in November.
All right, see you then. Have a good day.